I will load up FL keys. It's a common piano instrument and I select the grand piano preset. You can go to the piano roll by right-clicking on the instrument and then selecting piano roll, or press the piano roll icon or hit F7 on your keyboard. Your piano roll may look a bit different than mine. Let's edit this. Press on the piano roll options, view, and set the grid contrast to your liking. I pick high so I see better contrast on what I'm doing. Then under scale highlighting you can pick the key and scale you want your song to be in. I will pick C major since it's easy for beginners to get started with. Enable ghost channels to keep track of other piano rolls that you have worked on. I like the classic keyboard style, but it doesn't really matter. But I do like to show all key labels. This will show all the notes in my piano roll. Another thing I like to do is go back to the option, but this time edit and then select allow resizing from left. This way I can change my notes from any side. Now you are ready to click your first notes in with the left mouse button. Select pattern to hear only this pattern and hit the play button or space bar. Holding the right mouse button will delete notes. You can drag your notes to the side to change the length or drag them in the middle of the note to move them around. Hit the brush icon to paint in as many as you like. The drum paint brush will make shorter notes, which may be handy for drum patterns. You can then use the delete icon, but I prefer to use my right mouse button in the pen mode. Paint notes on top of each other to create a chord and hold Alt right mouse button to play that part only. Use the slice tool to cut away unwanted parts. Hold Shift to keep a vertical line or Alt to move freely. Delete the parts that you don't need and make this effect. You can select all notes with the Select tool or hold Ctrl to select a region. You can then edit or move the selected notes. You can use the zoom icon, but I like to use Ctrl and the scroll wheel or use change the length under the toolbar. Click on the music note to snap notes to your scale or right-click to see more scale options. You can see that the piano roll lights up differently when you pick different scales. The light notes are the one of your scale and enabling snap to scale will allow you to only stay in key. With all these tricks, it's time to create our first chords. I like to start on C since we are in that key. Then I click notes on the light parts to hear what fits good with my note. Hit play and listen to what we got so far. Let's create triad chords out of these notes. We do this by skipping each other light note and placing a note in the next light note. Repeat this for all chords and listen to it again. If you want to add extra notes for a melody on top, you can use snap to grid. You can snap to the grid more precise or more broad. Let me show you this difference. We made these chords ourselves, but you can also let FL Studio create these for you with the stamp tool. Choose major or minor and click them in the piano roll. You notice these are grouped, so select them and hit Alt G to ungroup them. Enable or disable the only one option to paint in a single or multiple chords. You can change the length of the entire chord progression by dragging it with the arrow you see in the piano roll. Listen to your desired speed. Hold the right mouse button to drag a selection to loop in the bar menu. Edit your selection with the right mouse button or hit Ctrl and click with the left mouse button to undo the selection. There are a bunch of cool tools to play with to give your chords more flavor. Go to Tools and find them there. For example, this chopper can slice up your chords. Edit the timulation for the amount of chops. The arpeggiator will break your chords down in separate notes to create this effect. Play around with the range, time, and gate to tweak it. Hit Ctrl-Z to undo any unwanted changes. The strum tool gives the effect that the notes of your chords are not played at the exact same time, like a real human piano player would. Hit Accept if you want to keep these changes. The randomizer will give random notes in your pattern. Set the octaves and octave range to your liking. Make sure you are in the right key and change the population to add more or less notes. Not only can you random the notes, but also the levels. So I will enable them and tweak the velocity ever so slightly. I have separate tutorials for each of these tools on my YouTube channel where I go more in depth. So check them out if you want to see more of these or subscribe to the channel. Now that you have the tools under your belt, let's quickly go over some handy short keys. Alt and right click will let you hear a particular part. Shift and drag in between notes will alter the length of them. Control will select notes. Control and Shift will let you select multiple different notes. Selecting notes and holding Shift will duplicate them. Control arrow down will move them an octave down. Control arrow up will move it up an octave. This creates a base layer for our chords. Hitting some keys on your computer keyboard will hit the notes on the piano roll. Holding Alt and drag with your mouse will move or edit notes off the snap grid. Control Q will lengthen the note to the next grid. Control L will shorten them. Control A will select everything. Control C and V will copy-paste your notes. Control Z will undo the last action. Control B will duplicate a selection. With nothing selected, Control B will duplicate everything. M will select random notes. I will invert the selection. You can replace the piano sound with a different instrument. Open the channel rack once more, right-click on your correct instrument and choose Replace. I will pick Flex. Browse through different sounds until you find one that you like. Now that you have your chord progression, you may want ideas for the melody. Click on Tools and then Riff Machine to open an instant of Citrus with some melody ideas. Also set the correct scale in these options. Play around with the tabs and tools until you find something that you enjoy. This will not generate awesome tracks from scratch, but it might give you ideas. You can also change the instrument or preset on this synth as well. Add or remove notes and create something of your own. Practice a lot and get better over time. Subscribe and visit the channel for more tips on FL Studio and these tools. Good luck, my friend.